There is someone who witnessed everything, from sleeping in freezing houses in the winter to sleeping in his mother's car, a childhood without a father and without a home, a mother who went to jail. The person who witnessed it all was one of the greatest athletes in history, LeBron James. LeBron slept in other people's houses throughout his childhood because he didn't have a home to sleep in. From failing middle school to being the most popular high school student in the world, here is the story of LeBron James. Akron, Ohio. LeBron was born to a 16-year-old mother. His mother didn't have a steady job. In fact, his mother was practically a child. As for his father, he left the family 2 days after LeBron was born. So Gloria was left with a baby in her arms when she was only 16 years old. With nowhere to go, Gloria took LeBron and moved to her mother's house, where they relaxed a little bit. Gloria was constantly changing jobs and trying to take care of the house, and her grandmother was taking care of LeBron. Meanwhile, LeBron turned 3 years old. Just as things were starting to look up, LeBron's grandmother died suddenly. After his grandmother's death, Gloria's 2 brothers moved in with her to take care of the house. But the house was cold, like a cave, and very old. They couldn't even afford to heat the house, even with his brother coming. That winter, a neighbor came to visit them. The neighbor saw a freezing house, dirty dishes overflowing from the kitchen, walls with holes in them. The neighbor said, "Gloria, it's not safe here. Please come stay with me." And LeBron's mother left their home for the first time. The neighbor showed them a couch and told them they could sleep here. His mother and LeBron spent a few months in the same bed, but after a while, the visit had to end. Gloria decided to stay with friends. That way, LeBron would spend more than half of his childhood homeless. When Gloria stayed with one friend too long, she would move on to another friend, then find a place to rent for a few months. When she couldn't pay the rent, she moved in with relatives. Gloria said, "I don't want anyone to go through what we went through, not even my enemy." LeBron didn't even have a bed. He usually slept on old worn couches in a damp house. In a later interview, he said, "I never complained about it. I knew we were having a hard time. I would pack my little bag when my mom said it was time to go." LeBron's childhood was spent on the meanest streets of Akron. He even witnessed murders during his childhood, and with a childhood like that, he was on the verge of losing touch with school. By the time LeBron was 10, Gloria had stopped caring for her son. Gloria liked to travel, go to parties, and leave LeBron home alone. She even forgot to take him to school. Meanwhile, Gloria went to jail for 14 days for petty crimes. When she came home from jail, LeBron was embarrassed for his mother. LeBron, who was in 4th grade, had missed most of school that year, and when his mother went to jail, he was afraid that his friends would hear about it and make fun of him, so he started to miss school more and more. In 4th grade, LeBron missed 82 days out of a 160-day school year. At that age, LeBron wasn't playing basketball. His favorite sport was American football. Meanwhile, they were on the verge of being kicked out of their home again. LeBron and his mom were sitting on the stairs brooding when a man walked up. Coach Frank Walker had seen LeBron from afar and liked his physique. He approached LeBron and asked if he liked American football. LeBron replied, "It's my favorite sport." The coach said he was looking for a player for an upcoming tournament and invited LeBron to try out. But Gloria came into the conversation and said, "I can't afford the equipment for that sport. I don't have a car to take my son to practice." The coach responded, "Don't worry about it. I'll pay for everything." The coach gave LeBron a test on the spot. He gathered neighborhood kids and conducted a 328 feet dash test, with LeBron coming in first. So LeBron started playing his first soccer games. LeBron quickly became one of the coach's most valuable players. Meanwhile, LeBron and his mom were still moving houses, which caught the coach's attention. "I'm tired of picking up LeBron from different addresses, or picking him up from junk houses," he said. The coach, aware of the family's poverty, asked LeBron if he wanted to live with him. Gloria didn't like the offer at first, but then she said, "At least my son won't sleep in junkyards," and she accepted the offer. From that moment on, LeBron's life would never be the same. LeBron still didn't know his father. Some said he went to jail, some said he was murdered. But LeBron had a new father, Coach Walker. LeBron continued to play American football for a while, but when he got injured and grew too tall, the coach wanted to get him into basketball. And LeBron fell in love with the sport as soon as he was introduced to it. LeBron was 10 years old when he started playing basketball. LeBron didn't even go to school in the 4th grade, but in the 5th grade, he was able to keep up his attendance and get a B average. Basketball wasn't just a hobby for him, Not only did it keep him in school, but the basketball court became his home after a life of homelessness. LeBron was very attached to basketball. However, it was only a few years after he started basketball that he was able to dunk his first dunk. Things happened so fast that it was as if LeBron was made for basketball. The boy who had no home a few years earlier, and who was introduced to a new sport, went on to achieve unbelievable feats as a freshman in high school. LeBron was still poor throughout high school. Players today can earn money in some states because of new laws, but in LeBron's day, those laws didn't exist. So even as the most famous high school player in the world, he was still poor. LeBron was so good as a freshman that he averaged 21 points and 6 assists. Meanwhile, in his first year, he led his high school to the state championship without losing a single game. It was during this time that LeBron first became known and caught the attention of NBA scouts. In his sophomore year of high school, LeBron averaged 25 points a game. His team lost just one game that season and won the section championship. He was named one of the top 5 high school players in America. He was voted the best player in the city and became the youngest player in history to win the Mr. Basketball Award. By the time LeBron was a junior in high school, his strings were pulled. He averaged 29 points a game and was on the cover of the most famous sports magazines in the country. It may sound like it all happened so fast, but it really did. The kid who didn't even have a bed was sitting on the stairs when he was discovered by a coach who brought out the hidden talent in him. It was like a dream. LeBron was now in his 4th year. By this time, no high schooler in the world was even a quarter as famous as he was. LeBron's school gym games were being televised nationally. No other basketball player in history had ever done this. No high schooler's game had ever been televised. The games were being broadcast from ESPN, and his high school was charging a fee for each game broadcast. Don't forget that because of the law, LeBron doesn't have money in his pocket. His mom is still poor. He is still poor. LeBron had a nickname for himself after his big fame at the age of 17, the Chosen One. He tattooed it on his back, and he really thought he was the Chosen One. When LeBron looks back, I was arrogant. I called myself the Chosen One. I should have been humble when I look back, but at least I was who I was. I was the kid that every reporter in the world jumped on. That's why I thought that. And he wasn't wrong. No athlete in the world had ever shined so early. Meanwhile, LeBron's birthday was coming up. Gloria wanted to buy a big present for her son, who would lift them out of poverty. But as I mentioned, they were still poor. Gloria was still on rent assistance, but Gloria was so confident in her son's future that she bought him a $50,000 Hummer for his birthday. Gloria still couldn't pay her rent, so she borrowed money in her 17-year-old son's name to buy this luxury car. In fact, it wasn't the right move, because LeBron was alleged to have taken money in violation of the rules, and this gift turned into a scandal. LeBron's accounts were then investigated, but that wasn't LeBron's first scandal. A few weeks after that, he was suspended from his high school team. In February 2003, LeBron visited an antique store in his city. The owner made LeBron an offer. The man said, "If you take a picture in front of my store, I'll give you 2 jerseys." LeBron accepted the offer without much thought and bought the jerseys in exchange for the photo. But what he didn't know was that high school athletes were not only prohibited from making money, but also from advertising and receiving gifts. When his school found out, they banned LeBron from the team. LeBron was kept away from the team for a long time, and it almost ruined his career. Meanwhile, he even got support from NBA players. Shaq said, "It's ridiculous to do that to a kid. Everyone takes advantage of him when it suits them, and when it doesn't, you try to persecute him? You can't end someone's career because of 2 jerseys." The school's fans protested for weeks, demanding LeBron. Luckily, the protests paid off, and LeBron paid for the jerseys and got back on the court. Tickets to LeBron's high school games were even more expensive than the NBA's regular season games. The school he went to couldn't fit LeBron's fans on the school field, so they wanted to move to the University of Akron field, which has a capacity of 7,000. His high school jersey sold for $512,000. Such a poor childhood and such fame in a few short years. As LeBron entered his last days of high school, the offers started pouring in. Reebok was the first to make an offer, and they offered the young player $100 million. That was more than enough money to ensure he would never be homeless again. Not just $100 million. Reebok handed LeBron $10 million in cash in the interview room, but LeBron stopped and said, "I need to think about it." LeBron had Nike on his mind, but he knew Nike wouldn't give him $10 million in cash, much less $10 million in cash. So LeBron turned down $110 million and went home to the suburbs. The player met with Nike a few weeks later. LeBron wanted his legacy intact. He wasn't looking for instant gratification. In the end, Nike offered the player $87 million for 7 years, and he accepted. June 26, 2003 was the day all of America had been waiting for. The unprecedented high schooler would enter the NBA. LeBron was drafted in the first round, first overall. His first contract was worth $13 million, and LeBron was on top of the world. In his first year, he was named Rookie of the Year. In his second year, he became an all-star and breathed new life into a Cleveland team that had failed for so long. LeBron was the first season MVP at the age of 24. In his fourth year in the NBA, he reached the NBA Finals, where he led a really bad team to the finals, no matter how hard they struggled. LeBron spent 7 seasons in Cleveland, his hometown team, and he felt he had to do something for his career. Cleveland was not a good team most of the time, and LeBron had a serious career to build. He had a championship to win. That's why LeBron made the sudden decision in 2010 to transfer to Miami. LeBron was born in Cleveland, went to school there, spent his entire high school career there, was drafted to the NBA team there. And when he became so integrated with his city, his decision to change teams caused hatred. When LeBron went to Miami, Cleveland fans became the biggest LeBron haters, but LeBron was determined to win a championship. LeBron thus made it to the 2012 NBA Finals with his new team and won the first NBA championship of his career. LeBron was named Finals MVP, NBA champion, and season MVP that year. The same was repeated the next year. The 2013 NBA champion was named Finals MVP, regular season MVP, and won his first 2 titles. In Miami, LeBron was one of the strongest and most athletic players in the league. Finally, in 2014, he announced his decision to leave Miami. His new team was his old team. LeBron hadn't forgotten his city. Now that he had the championships he wanted, he came back to save it. LeBron Cleveland also made it to the NBA Finals in 2016. They were up against one of the strongest teams in history, Golden State. Golden State took the series 3-1 and then played the best NBA Finals in history. LeBron brought the series and they became champions. LeBron gifted more than a championship to the city where he was born, and LeBron wanted to transfer to the Lakers 2 years after this championship. The fans did not react this time because LeBron had paid his debt to his city. He is no longer a rookie. He's one of the greatest legends of the NBA. LeBron won the championship in 2020 with his new team, the Lakers, marking his 4th championship of his career. When we look at the career that the 39-year-old LeBron left behind, we see 4 NBA championships, 4 Finals MVPs, 4 season MVPs, 19-time All-Star, and 2 Olympic gold medals. And of course, we see the player who scores the most points in NBA history. Most importantly, he is no longer a homeless man. He is now a billionaire.
Mama! Hey, Mama. I had to leave the locker room. They going crazy in there right now. I had to get away.